Let's discuss the controversy going on right now around Sophie Lark and her newest release by Bloom called Sparrow and Vine. And the publisher is important, and you'll find out why in a minute. And before anybody even says a word, I just want to put out there that I am myself, I'm a Mexican immigrant. I feel fully qualified to discuss this and talk about this because I am part of the community that was harmed with Sophie Lark's harmful, racist rhetoric. For people who do not know what's going on, Sophie Lark released a new book called Sparrow and Vine. It is published by Bloom, and it contains some very harmful statements, and here they are. For context, these statements were put out into the novel. They were not challenged, they were not corrected, and they were just glossed over. Sophie Lark, and we'll get to this in a minute, put out a statement that said she wanted her character to look flawed, and I'm sorry, what? As she should be, she was called out by a lot of the BIPOC community, and she eventually released a statement. And the statement is really what I want to go over, because at this point, I think if you can't agree that what she wrote is wrong, then you're just as bad as she is, and I don't really have any time or the energy for you. So let's just go over the apology and whether or not from the perspective of an immigrant, if it is acceptable or not. The first slide starts off talking about how much she appreciates the community. What community are you talking about, Sophie Lark? Is it the white people in your comments that are telling you not to worry, that people are too sensitive and that it's not a big deal and you shouldn't even have to address this? Or is it the community of immigrants that you basically insulted and used racist rhetoric against? Because I can't tell, since you don't name who you're talking to. Community is such a broad statement. Who exactly are you talking about? Because the immigration community and the white people in your comments are not the same community. So can you be a little more forward with that? What community are you addressing? She then goes on to say support and meaningful engagement is important to her. How is meaningful engagement important to you when the people who are bringing forth their concerns about the rhetoric in your book are currently being blocked and have not been unblocked to see this apology? What kind of a meaningful engagement were you hoping to ascertain by blocking the very community calling you out for the problems that are in your novel? She then goes on to say certain lines were problematic. Which line, Sophie? Which line are you talking about? Why aren't you addressing each one that was brought forth to you individually and expressing why you understand and how you realize that these are harmful? You just glossing over them with a generalized statement does not mitigate the harm that you have caused. It doesn't pinpoint what you're talking about. This is a generalized copy and paste and just send out apology statement that we've seen from every white author that has ever done this, and we're going to see again in the future. She then goes on to say that her intention with these harmful phrases was only ever to write a flawed and present a flawed character. A flawed character is someone who doesn't listen and communicate well, not somebody who is a racist. That's not a flawed character. That's a horrible person. Like, there's a difference between having a flaw. I have a hard time standing up to people who use me as a doormat. That's a flaw. Being a racist is being a racist. Like, there is no flaw in that. That is a horrible person. She then goes on to talk about how she never meant to write dialogue that harmed a community that she loves so much. Show me. Show me anywhere in the past where you have ever publicly demonstrated any kind of care or concern for the immigration community. Ever. Show it to me. I won't hold my breath for it. The next slide gets even worse, if you can believe it. Bloom apparently told, now I don't know how much I believe about this. I feel like Bloom kind of made Sophie release this, because at this point, I told you the publisher would be important at some point. Bloom has represented several white authors that have wrote harmful rhetoric in their books, and they continue to keep them on as authors. They continue to do business with them. Sophie is not the first Bloom author that has demonstrated this kind of behavior and stayed on as an author. So I don't know how much I believe this, but apparently Bloom told Sophie during the editing process, you should not put this in your book. And Sophie stood 10 toes down and said, nah, I'm keeping it. So either a few things have happened here and none of them are good. Bloom folded like a lawn chair to a racist rhetoric that they didn't want to lose an author over, or Bloom never said a thing and Sophie's full of crap, or neither of them gave a damn and just let it slide. Sophie then goes on to say that she wrote this in the summer of 2024 when politics and the climate surrounding immigration was different. I want to know how it was different. Trump was hot on his campaign trail then. Him and J.D. Vance were doing a hell of a job trying to villainize the border crossings, trying to villainize immigration. They were telling America what they were going to do if they were elected. And I'm sorry, it wasn't different from, they are doing everything they said they were going to do on that campaign trail. So how was the political climate so different? It really wasn't. She then goes on to say that she's pausing the series and that she's going to do rewrites. While that is all lovely, trust me, I love the bronze colored turd that you're serving us here. You do realize that was your option to begin with and you turned it down already. So saying, nah, I'm not going to do that, and then getting backlash and going, oh, I'm going to do that thing I should have done to begin with and that I knew and was told I should have done to begin with. Why are you putting lipstick on a pig and telling me that I should be freaking grateful for the color swatch? Like, no, you had the chance to do that. You chose not to. So now that you're going to do it after the fact, we're supposed to applaud and dance for you? I don't think so. Basically, what you're telling me is you're doing what you should have done to begin with because you were too stupid to do it before, and now I'm supposed to clap for you. And I'm just sorry. I'm just not in the mood to cheer for you right now. She then wraps things up by saying that she's going to listen more closely to her sensitivity readers. You should have listened to them to begin with. Why did you even bother hiring them if they were going to give you their expertise and you were going to go, nah, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I don't think that's unsensitive. I'm going to go ahead and publish it anyway. Again, all these things you could have avoided by just listening to your editors, listening to your sensitivity readers, maybe actually like opening your eyes, stepping away from your privilege and looking at what's happening in the world right now. Because even if the political climate was different in 2024, you're releasing the book now. You didn't see the problem now. I just, none of it makes any sense. And all of it is absolutely talking down to us, the harmed community, like we are too stupid to see what she's doing here. Overall, as an apology, I'm going to have to give this one a dog water out of 10. She talks to us like we're stupid, like we're not going to see the manipulation in the apology, and then acts like she's bending over backwards and doing all these wonderful things to change things and everything, while she still has the people that tried to bring it to our attention blocked. She's still deleting comments, and she had the opportunity to do all of that to begin with and decided it wasn't important enough to actually change when she had the chance. So overall, I think it's just crap. And I'm sorry, I will never read anything by her ever again, and I will never buy any of her books ever again. She's a DNR, do not read, and I want nothing more to do with her or anyone that supports her.